Okay, folks, joining me right now is the former president of WCW and the former leader of the NWO, the New World Order, the most notorious wrestling alliance of all time, the greatest alliance of all time, the one and only Eric Bischoff. Eric, you're here in Massachusetts. Such an honor to have you here back. We had you at the Hall of Fame, now here at Super Mega Fest. We heard you have a new DVD coming out talking about WCW, the NWO. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, WWE sent a crew out to my home in Wyoming last summer, actually, for 3 or 4 days, and we spent a lot of time covering my life before I got into wrestling. Clearly, we talked a lot about wrestling and WCW, AWA, WWE, and we talked a lot about what's been going on in my life after wrestling. So it was a fun experience. I've seen the rough cut, and it looks great. I'm pretty proud of it.
So you know what's really incredible, a lot of people don't know about, is what WWE did to the AWA is almost like what WCW and NWO did to WWE. WWE, Vince McMahon took Vern Gagne out of business. He took all of their top talent, and then he went to Minnesota and put them in the ring. Jesse Ventura, Mean Gene, Hulk Hogan, all those guys, the raid that McMahon did for AWA, and you were there working at the time. What were your thoughts about the WWE's raid of the AWA in the 80s that led to the AWA downfall?
Well, I didn't go to work for AWA until late 1987, which was after a lot of the big names left AWA and went on to WWE. So I wasn't really there at the time. I came in afterwards. But naturally, I heard a lot of opinions about what happened at that time and, you know, whether or not it was ethical or not ethical. But I was hearing it from the points of view and the perspective of people who were adversely affected by it, namely Vern and Greg Gagne. You know, I've come to realize, even after having been accused of raiding talent and stealing other people's talent, it was never the case. Talent was available. They chose to make a change and come to work for me. That's life. But it did affect business, adversely for Vern Gagne, adversely to a degree for WWE when I did the same thing to them. But it all comes back around. WWE landed on their feet. They came back stronger than ever and have turned themselves into a global powerhouse. So it all ends well that
and a lot of people
start so well.
And a lot of people don't know that you were very close to buying WCW, Jason Harvey, those productions and stuff like that, and maybe you would have done your own thing. Do you think that WWE hired you? Because I know that they might have done that with Heyman. You think they hired you to keep you in with them so you wouldn't go and do your own company, or how do you feel about that?
No, I don't think they were afraid of me whatsoever. I think, you know, the timing was right for WWE, you know, where my character made sense. And, you know, they gave it a shot. It worked out really well. I stayed there much longer than I thought I would. I thought it would be a 6-month or 1-year deal, really. And ended up spending several years there. So I enjoyed it. It was a positive experience.
And it's so great. On YouTube and on the WWE Network, we can watch all of the great stuff of WCW, the NWO. And the storyline and the writing was so great for your program. And if you watch it now, I was watching it the other day, and I'm like, you guys really wrote a great show. You never knew who was going to come out. You never know what was going to happen. I watched The Ultimate Warrior when he came out in Connecticut. All the stuff that you guys did. Now, the NWO, you had the Wolfpack and NWO. You came up with the idea of the NWO. The ratings were so incredible. You had new guys debut. It was going so good. But the ending of the storyline, NWO Wolfpack, did you have a clear cut of how was it going to end? Because it seemed like they almost drifted off into different sections, and then the NWO thing ended. Like, was there an ending that you guys were going to have, or that's what I wanted to know?
Yeah, there was, but as is often the case in all things creative, they're subject to change. So you have to change with the opportunity, you have to change with the conditions, you have to change with limitations. And as the NWO grew and became more popular, you know, creatively we made some decisions that were not the best decisions by growing it and growing it. There were reasons for that, because we wanted to use the NWO to create our own brand split. So you had a distinct NWO show, you had a distinct WCW show, and we could have that brand against brand kind of conflict. But along the way, things happen, changes happen. The business environment changed dramatically, and that necessitated a lot of changes on our part. So things happen.
I just want to say that you were a great president. You were a great promoter. We're many fans of your work. You did a fantastic job. I want to thank you so much for being on my program today. Coming here in Massachusetts, complete honor to have you on, Eric. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here. Former president of WCW, the man that ran the NWO, the one and only Eric Bischoff.